everywhere. Realizing I am everywhere. We are attached to our bodies, mind, and all that mind creates. The conditionings, the egocentric identities set, put all attachment to the body and to the mind aside. Then realizing I am everywhere is the greatest moment of joyousness, of blissfulness. Realizing I am everywhere, and one who is everywhere, and one who is everywhere is certainly joyous. You are locked into your narrow boundaries of your bedroom, your conditionings, egocentric identities. Certain times it is necessary, for certain things it is necessary. Realize what is the joyous moment. When you feel you are everywhere, even when you are in the living room, in your bedroom, you feel that you are part of the entire cosmos, entire house. Many points have to be understood in this regard. First, you have to toss attachment for the body aside. Body creates its own restrictions. There is a deep attachment to the body, and it is bound to be. It is natural. You have been living in the body for many, many lives. From the very beginning, bodies have changed, but you were always with the body. You were always embodied. That's why we call it embodied self. There has been certain moments and times when you were not embodied. But then, were you conscious at that moment? When you die from one body, you die in a state of unconsciousness, and then you remain unconscious. Then you were born again in a new body, but then too you remain unconscious. The gap between one death and another birth is unconscious. So you don't know how you will feel when you are not embodied. You do not know who you are. When you are not in a body, you know only one phenomena, and that is embodiment. You have always known yourself in the body. Once you was a child, you were embodied as a child. Then childhood died. And were you aware when the adolescence took over? Another example, you are in the company of your beloved. You are totally covered, dressed, just as the outer body is the cover, the clothings for the soul that dwells within, the consciousness that dwells within. In the same way, the clothes, the outer that covers your body. Behind that is hidden something which can give you a moment of great pleasure, a moment of great fulfillment. I take the example from where you are. You are, you live your life moment to moment dressed. Only certain times, according to need, you undress yourself. And that too mechanically. When you go to take the shower or for any other purpose, you are undressed, but that is mechanical, robot like. Are you conscious of that moment when you undress yourself to go to take a shower, or you are coming in the company of your loved one, beloved? Are you consciously aware of that you are undressed? You have tossed your attachment to the outer layer of the body, the layer that was covering yourself. So in that moment, you were dressed, and that dress, the outer appearance disappeared, and you come into, put it this way, one life. That you were dressed is no more at that moment, and you are entered into a new life undressed. Are you consciously aware of this? When you undress yourself to go to take a shower, or when you are in the company of your beloved, when you are told to do these things, it is playfulness. But what it does deep within, in a way, tosses the attachment to the outer layer of the body. Right now, as you are, there is body and that which covers the body. So you have to start from here. When you are tossing your attachment to the outer layer that covers your body, be aware of that. Be aware when you are tossing your attachment to that which has been covering the body. When you are changing, that is the moment. When you are going to take a shower, or when you are in the company of your beloved. This is the beginning. Without doing this, the other tossing with the body will not be natural and spontaneous for you. So when you have to toss your attachment to the outer clothings, it is unconscious. When you are in that outer covering, you are unconscious. When you are removing, it is unconsciously. And when you have removed or tossed your attachment to this, you are unconscious. During these moments, be conscious totally. Then you will enter a totally different realm. You can practice such moments in a natural and spontaneous way. So then you are becoming free, isn't it? When that moment comes in, you feel free, natural and spontaneous. Whole day, from morning till evening, you have been living in this outer garb. And only for certain moments you toss your attachment to these, that too mechanically and for certain reasons. When you toss this attachment in a natural and a spontaneous way without fear or any reason, can you express the joy, the fulfillment that comes in that spontaneity, that freedom that you experience that moment, can you put into words? There have been certain moments and times when this outer covering was not there, but you were not conscious. So too, this body is the outer covering for that which dwells within the body. That is your consciousness, that is the soul, that is the Ruh, or whatsoever you want to give it the name. When you die from one body, body means outer, when you die or remove one outer layering of the clothes that you had, were you conscious? So when you die from one body, you die in unconsciousness, and then you remain unconscious during the moment when you are not embodied. Then you are born again in a new body. Then too you are unconscious. The gap between one death and another is unconscious. The moment when you remove the outer covering and until you put on the next outer covering, you are unconscious. So you do not know how you will feel when you are not fully, your body is not fully covered. Have you experienced the moment of joy when you are not fully, your body is not fully covered? If you have not experienced, then how can you experience when you are not embodied? You are not the body. You have tossed all attachment to the body. While living on a moment-to-moment basis, you can do this act. So, but when you do it consciously, you will not have the fear. As such, you have the fear to remove the outer covering, whether you are alone or not. So when you have learned this, the joy that comes in removing the outer covering, the blissfulness, the fulfillment that you get, only then you will be able to realize the joy, the fulfillment that comes in when one body is removed, is no more, and you have entered into a new body. You do not know during that moment when you are undressed. Do you know who you are when you are not in the clothings? You are defined by the outer covering. You are defined by your outer covering, the way you dress, the way you present yourself, that defines you. If you see a naked beggar, you will not be attracted towards that. You do not know who you are when you are not in the outer covering. You know only the one phenomena, and that is totally covered. You have not known yourself when you are without covering. You have not looked at yourself when you are not covered. So you have to begin from where you are. And then one day you realize that when you are not in the body and you are out of the body, like transcendence from childhood to adolescence, then you will be able to know yourself. You have always known yourself in the body, in the covering that covers the consciousness. Just as you do not know your body when you are in clothes, you do not know the various aspects, the contours, or whatsoever you can call it when you are in the outer covering. So too you do not know yourself, who you really are when you are in the body. This has been so long, so continuous, that you have forgotten that you are different from it. You are different from it. This is a forgetfulness, natural, bound to happen in the circumstances. Hence there is attachment. So you buy the most expensive and the good looking, appealing garments. You feel that you are the body. This is attachment. You feel that you are not anything other than the body and anything more than the body. You may not agree with me at the point, because many times you think that you are not the body, you are the soul. This has been told to you, conditioned. You are the soul, the self, but this is not your knowing, this is not your realization. This is simply what you have heard, what you have read, and what you have believed yourself to be without knowing. You enjoy when people say that you have a very good looking body or a nice curves or this or that. But do you know the reality of yourself? How beautiful and shapely is your body? So when you do not know this, how would you know that you have simply heard that others saying that you have a nice body, a very good looking, a shapely body. But have you experienced it on your own? So too you have heard that you are not the body, you are the soul, you are the being, you are the self. Have you ever encountered that? Just as you have never encountered your body and looked at its beauty, admired it, cherished it, how can you do that? So the first thing to be done is that you have to realize the fact that really this is the knowing that you are the body, you are the outer covering. You do not know yourself because deception will not help. What others tell you, and you feel happy, you feel very good when someone tells you you have a shapely body. Isn't it a deception? And this will not help. If you think that you already know that you are not the body, you are not the clothes, then if you think that you know that you are not the body, then you cannot toss your attachment to it. Because really for you there is no attachment. You already know that you are not the body. You already have believed when the other have said that you have a nice shapely body. Then you don't need to know. You believed what the others have said. All your friends and everyone who sees you, oh, you have a nice shapely body. This is exactly like that. You believe it and you don't want to know about it. You don't want to explore it. So when you believe that you are soul, you are being, then you will not bother to know or explore what reality is. If you have believed the others that they said that you have a shapely, nice body, nice curves, then you will believe it and you will not toss your attachment to the clothes that has been covering your shapely body which you have heard. You have to know it on your own. Just as listening to the scriptures is like listening to the others that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the soul, you are the self, you are consciousness. So too, when you have heard from 10 people that you have a nice, shapely, beautiful body, nice curves, so you tend to believe it and then you will not explore it. You will not have the first hand encounter with it. So this is the beginning. Then, because really for you there is no attachment, you already know that you are the soul, so you don't need to explore that. You already know that you have a shapely body, so you don't need to do anything else. Then many difficulties arise which cannot be solved. A difficulty has to be solved at the very beginning. Once you lose the beginning, you can never solve it. You have to come back again and again to the beginning. So remember well and realize well that you don't know yourself as anything other than the body. This is the first basic realization along the spiritual path. Along the path of your journey into the world, you have to know, experience and realize the beauty of your body, the shapeliness of your body. But this is the first realization that you are not the body. This realization is not there. Your mind is belonged to whatsoever you have heard. You have been hearing from your friends, colleagues, and everybody that you have a beautiful body. Your mind is belogged by whatsoever you have heard. Your mind is conditioned by the knowledge of others. It is borrowed. It is not real. Not that it is false. Not that it is false. It's not that your body is not shapely. It's not that you are not the soul. Those who have said it, they have known it. But for you it is false unless you become your own, unless it becomes your own experience and realization. So you have to begin to realize, experience yourself. So whenever I say something is false, I mean it is not your experience. When I say and you believe that I have a shapely body, it is false. It's not that. But it is not your experience that is why it is false. It's not that you are not soul. it does not mean that you are not consciousness, but you are unaware of it, and it is not your experience, it is not your realization. That truth is truth only when you have experienced it and realized it. Until then, it remains false, it remains untrue. There are no universal truths. Every truth has to be individual experience and individual realization before it becomes true for you. Is it very clear? Unless you experience your beauty yourself, you cannot know the beauty that you are unless you experience it and realize it on your own. Do not believe what others say. You know, you have heard it. This is part of your knowledge, part of your inheritance, that you are not the body, but it is not real for you, it is not your experience, it is not your realization. So first toss this unreal knowledge, this unreal conditioning. Face the fact that you know yourself only as the body. Face the fact that you know yourself only when you are dressed in a particular outfit, a garb. Face the fact that you know yourself only as the body. That will create great tension in you. So you choose the outfits to suit the occasion. Suit the occasion. If you do not dress the way that occasion calls for, you feel an inferiority complex. I recall once it happened that I was invited to a function that was organized under the auspices of the Prime Minister, some award ceremony or something there. And there was a particular dress code prescribed for it. The jacket and a necktie. That was the lounge dress. So I wrote a letter, thank you for your invitation, but I cannot attend the function as a particular dress code is prescribed for that. I do not subscribe to that. I do not visit a place where I am not accepted as I am, as I like to present myself. Yes. So the person said, what does it mean? I said, I dress to suit the occasion. I will not be underdressed or undressed. I will not come in the short pants or t-shirts and so, because that is not the way. I do not even wear the short sleeve shirts for such occasions. So I have found a convenient and most suitable way for me. Never go to my workplace without in slippers or in short pants or t-shirts, unless it is a holiday time. So then I got the message back that you can come the way you feel comfortable. So I was the only person dressed in a white shirt and a trousers. But there was no inferiority complex in me when everybody is dressed in three-piece suits. Nothing there. You have confidence in yourself, trust in yourself. Face the fact that you know yourself only as the body, as outer. So everybody there, they were dressed in three-piece suits, and so when you talk to those people, you find how poor their perception is about the life and everything. And that can create a tension in you. It was just to hide that tension that you gathered this knowledge, this three-piece lounge suit. So knowledge is like a three-piece lounge suit that you present yourself in. You go on believing that you are not the body, you go on living in the body. You think that you are natural and spontaneous, but you are presenting yourself in a most superficial manner. You go to the church. How? You dressed as if you are going on the ramp to exhibit your outfits. You go on believing that you are not the body, and you go on living in the body. So you are divided, and your whole being becomes non-authentic pseudo. This is what your life is. Enough for this moment. Continue along this line until we meet again. Take care.